or, people who grew up
Yes.
unschooled. We identified
Mhm.
75 grown unschoolers and asked them about their experiences when they were being
Mm.
unschooled, asked them about
Mhm.
how they were, did they go on to higher education or not? And
Right.
if they did, how did they get in without having
Mhm.
done any school before, right?
Right.
How did they survive it once they got
Mhm.
in? And for those who didn't go on, why didn't they? Couldn't they? Is it possible? Couldn't you do it, or didn't you want to do it? And if you didn't want to do it, why didn't you want to do it? We
Uh-huh.
asked them about their careers. And what we basically found is that they can go, they don't seem to have any problem going on to higher education if they want to
Mhm.
do it. If they're going into a career that requires it, they go on and they figure out what they
Yep,
have
they
to do to
figure it
get
out.
into the college they want to get
Exactly.
into. They figure it out.
Mhm.
They haven't taken any of the required courses, right? But they say, but in some sense, this is kind of refreshing to the administrator, the at least in some colleges,
Right.
you're looking at all these students that they've all got A's on their
Yeah.
transcripts.
They've been
They've all
programmed.
they've all done all the
Basically.
things you're supposed to do to get into
Uh-huh.
college, especially if you're at an elite college. And now here's somebody who says, "Oh, I don't have any transcript. I haven't taken any courses. But here's what I've done, and
Mhm.
here's why I want to go to your college." And
Right.
that's kind of interesting. This person is different, and
Mhm.
uh, so if
Well,
the
and a lot of the colleges now are asking for portfolios.
yeah, they're asking for
And
portfolios, and the unschoolers are very good at portfolios, and they're also
mhm.
generally very good at interviews. And they typically can
Right.
get an interview because
Mhm.
this is one way to get to know them, and if
Mhm.
in where you don't have the typical things, and
Mhm.
if it's a school that requires the SAT or the ACT, the kids prepare for it and they do
Right.
fine on it. It doesn't take a heck of a lot of work to prepare for it. They figure out a way to.
Right.
There
They
there
figure it
are
out.
even even kids who are going through the regular school, they take the SAT, they study the SAT prep book, and that's how they learn to do it.
Exactly. Yep.
And and um,
Mhm.
and so these kids do the same thing, and maybe they have to study a little bit of math to bring themselves up to the point where they can do it. But it
Mhm.
doesn't it doesn't take years and hours and tears of doing it.
Right.
You're
And they're
15,
probably
16,
more fresh
17
with all
years
the
old, and you want
algorithms
to
than
do
the
it.
rest of them. So,
Yeah.
yes.
So that's what we found regarding higher education. What we found regarding careers was interesting. That at least about half of them, I should say, we could see a very direct relationship between what they told us they were doing as a child, what they were passionate about playing at, and
Right.
what their career was today. So
Mhm.
it's not uncommon in self-directed education, and whether it's at a democratic school like the Sudbury Valley School or whether it's in unschooling,
Mhm.
for children to play at a lot of different things, and they get then at some point, some of them, not everyone, but some of them develop a real passionate interest, and they really focus on that, and they become
Mhm.
good at it.
Mhm.
And some of them actually start making money at it while they're still kids. This is not
Yes.
too uncommon, becoming, I think, even more and more common today with the
Mhm.
internet. And you can be
Yeah.
an entrepreneur, you can start selling your
Mhm.
stuff, you could start,
Right. Yeah.
and they've in some sense then got a head start on their career. And we found
Mhm.
about 50% of that 75, about half of them were in careers that they had passionate interests in
Hmm.
that were direct extensions of what they had done, what they had been doing in play as children.